I visited my aunt, my 87-year-old aunt, who lives in Colorado Springs, last month, and she has this old Royal Model 10 typewriter that her and my uncle have had since the early 1960s, and she used to write letters with it, and she hasn't been writing letters with this in a while. And when I visited her, I took a look at the typewriter, and it needed a ribbon, which I didn't have on me, and it needed some other work. And so I took it with me down here back home to work on it. And so I'm still working on it. I don't really have it fixed yet. I'm really indebted to Ted Monk's Typewriter Repair Bible just to know what I'm doing a little bit, but I looked at the mainspring and there's a tension adjustment. There's this adjuster screw and a worm gear that adjusts the tension, and I figured out the right direction to turn it. So I've increased the tension of the mainspring so it has more force, and it's reduced the problem, but it's still there intermittently. I'm a typewriter hobbyist. I love collecting them. I like typing with them, writing with them. I'm really just a beginner at learning to service them, and so this is a kind of a problem that for me is a real challenge. I don't have the tools and the experience, but you know, I don't want to disassemble this thing all the way down and not be able to get it back together, so I have to know my limits on this, but it's fun, and I'm glad I have the resources of a book like this, but it's kind of an adventure. It really is. I'll do a bunch of random nonsense words, just random typing, and then I'll go back and I'll look for the problem and I'll underline it and do more adjustments or lubrication or cleaning. And you know, it's the spacing after the first letter of a word after a space. It looks like the full space doesn't happen, and then the first letter of the next word happens too soon. They don't line up, and it's some kind of escapement issue, and it has me baffled. I think I've degreased this mechanism about as much as I can. I've increased the tension on the mainspring as much as I can safely. And now I guess I'm going to have to start digging into the escapement mechanism and see if I can find an actual problem. So this is going to be a real challenge for my skill level. My aunt is my last surviving sibling of my father on my father's side of the family. And she's 87 years old, and she's almost like a mother to me in some ways. She represents a link to an earlier generation that's essentially pretty much all passed away. Yeah, these parts, it's not like a Model Ford, an old 1930s Model Ford car where you can have aftermarket parts being made. These things, there's no aftermarket parts for these typewriters, and so you have these rubber feet and parts like that just get old and cracked and degraded. And luckily the glass windows on either side are still in good shape along with their frames. But it's what you're dealing with these old machines. I end up with page after page, single-spaced front and back side of random typings when I'm working on these kind of problems. Sometimes there's some funny stuff in here that comes out just from stream of consciousness. You don't really think about it, but you get tired of typing the same old quick brown fox over and over and over again. Stuff comes out that you don't expect, maybe coming up from the subconscious mind, but some of this stuff I actually keep, and I put it in a folder. Maybe I can use it for something later on. But I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to keep working on this until I get to a point where it's either fixed or it's going to be good enough, all that I can do, and then I'll have to bring it back to my aunt and make another drive up to Colorado with the typewriter in my trunk of my car, and I'm hoping she'll be pleased with it. It's about all we can ask for.